according to the state and basically according to the federal side of things as well, FEMA and requiring these plans to be in place. And it helps us at that point to get grants and things of that nature when these plans are in place. You have to have them there. So our new emergency management director has been diligently working on these things and got them all put together and brought here to council.
I have a lot of questions.
Page 438.
Hazing, new position.
Actually, I'm proud to say there were not 438 pages.
Yeah.
It's a few, they scaled it down, and I didn't go page by page, but it sure looked well documented and well presented, divided up into these various sections, and so.
Well, now that, what you're speaking of is the hazard mitigation plan.
Mm.
These are individual plans that have to be done. Hazard mitigation, he is still working on that right now with the state.
I know.
However, it will be condensed considerably as well.
Well, but I'm saying, but I saw all of these items in the packet, right? A through H?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
So
So,
you're talking about the council packet?
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yep.
Well, I'm saying what I saw, it was well laid out, looked to me like well organized.
Yeah, my mistake.
So this is, in the event of a disaster, money comes faster by having it done. Because we don't have to go and do one.
Yeah,
We don't
they
have to-
will ask. Yes,
they'll
they
ask
do
for
ask,
it.
you know, do you have this plan in place? Do you have
Yeah.
that plan in place?
Proactive is good.
Yeah, I'm concerned about that hazard mitigation.
You want to, they'll get it to you.
Is there
You
any
wanna
for
read it.
discussion this? I mean, it's done by staff and, we doing these one at a time, Mayor?
Yes, sir.
So you're
All
really
right.
good. You're
Ready?
good? Yeah.
All right. I move to motion to approve agenda item 9, standard operating guidelines, resolution 2023-13. I don't have to give a description.
Just 9A.
Nine A.
Okay, cool, 9A.
Second.
Motion second for approval item number 9A.
Yeah.
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 Yes. Item 9B, City of Newcastle Emergency Operations Plan, resolution number 2023-14.
Motion approved agenda item 9B.
Second.
Motion second for approval agenda item number 9B.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Item number 9C, Hazardous Weather Operations Plan, resolution number 2023-15.
Motion approved agenda item 9C.
Second.
Motion second for approval item 9C.
Yes.
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 Yes. Item 9D, Emergency Evacuation Plan, resolution number 2023-16.
Motion approved agenda item 9. I second D.
Motion second for approval item number 9D.
Second. Yes.
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 Item 9E, Community and Newcastle Public Schools Tornado Shelter Operations Plan, resolution number 2023-17.
Motion approved agenda item 9E. I second.
Motion second for approval item number 9E.
Yes.
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 Yes. Item 9F, Debris Management Plan, resolution number 2023-18.
Motion approved agenda item 9F. I second.
Motion second for approval of 9F.
Yes.
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 Yes. Item 9G, Disaster Volunteer Plan, resolution number 2023-19.
Motion approved agenda item 9G. I second.
Motion second for approval of item number 9G.
Yes.
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 Yes. Item 9H, Disaster Donations Plan, resolution number 2023-20.
Motion approved agenda item 9H. I second.
Motion second for approval of item 9H. Good job.
Yes.
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 Good. Item number 10, discussion of possible action to accept a $1,125,000 Land and Water Conservation Fund, LWCF, grant to the Oklahoma Department of Tourism for Veteran Park Pavilion Project. Total estimated project cost of $2,250,000 and report on master park plan and future projects.
Rather than stealing her thunder, the Assistant City Manager would like to speak to this item. Sure, you'd like to.
All told again, right?
Yeah, volunteer.
Good evening, council. This, as he mentioned, we were awarded the 2022 LWCF Veterans Park Pavilion Grant. We submitted this grant in September of 22, and it was tentatively awarded August of 23. He said it's for $2 million, with our part just being over $1 million. This project includes a 60 by 200 pavilion, a new large restrooms, parking, lighting, trees, irrigation, and security cameras. To kind of tell you where we are, historical and archaeological project reviews have been submitted to the state and 7 different tribal agencies and the Oklahoma Tourism Department. They'll review it, and then once they make their reviews, then it will go to the National Park Service for further review. We do not know at this point if any of those entities will request a archaeological field survey, so we'll just have to wait on that. So that's kind of what the grant part is. And then as far as our master park plan and future things that we've got planned, here in the next couple of weeks, we will have the south parking lot that we did a few months ago. The lighting will be installed for that. So it's about a week behind schedule, but should be within the next few weeks. And the projects that we are looking at in the future will be the large inclusive playground, pickleball / tennis courts, trail lights, parking and electrical service at this west parking lot that was a part of the trail grant, a bridge over the pond expansion that we are almost completed on, and a future fishing dock or 2.
Cool.
And some of those projects, obviously, we may potentially be able to find grants or different funding, and then others will have to come.
Virginia, those things you just mentioned, we already have funding for those from previous grants?
For the pavilion grant only. So that's just going to be the pavilion, restrooms, parking, lighting, trees, irrigation, and security
Oh,
cameras.
okay,
And all that project is on the north side of the pond.
right, okay.
Well, there's the pavilion.
Yes.
Where's
You're
that
right.
gonna be?
And this will be subject to change once it will be engineered and designed. It could be modified a little bit, but this is what we submitted as a part of the grant.
That's right up on 16th Street?
It's off of Garrett, and then 16th would be at the very north part, and this is off of Garrett Drive.
Okay.
So you can kind of see where the pond is now, and then the original parking lot from the Phase 1 trail grant right there.
Below there?
This will be just north of that.
Okay.
Correct.
Cool.
Then you
So,
look at
so
our-
the excavation that's going on, the digging now is the
Expansion of the pond. Correct.
No hill.
And adding to the
no
sledding
hill's
hill.
gonna get bigger?
A little bit. Yes.
There's gotta go somewhere.
And if you look at our master plan we had up there a while ago, north of the walking track, you'll see along 16th Street, which is on the far left side there, that's all gonna be another large parking lot.
Oh, okay.
So when we get the band shell done and the great lawn there, there'll be parking all along 16th Street as well. That will tie into this new parking we're doing with the pavilion.
Correct.
So there will be a whole lot of parking there with a much larger restroom than we have by the splash pad.
Mhm.
And so it'll really be a focal point for the park. Move the farmer's market down there. It'll be amazing.
Correct. Originally, we applied for this grant in 2021,
Mhm.
and it included that north parking lot as well. But that just put us over their threshold of funding. So that's why we took that part out and then just did the main part that we applied for on this round, and then we were awarded.
And the only one thing just want to point out on the master plan that's a little different, because we try to stick pretty much with the master plan. We don't show a bridge over the neck going to the smaller extension of the pond to the south, but Parks Board staff thought that it would be very
Mhm.
good to have a bridge over those 2 pond sections. So
Be a nice addition.
you'll notice if you go by there's no dirt dug out right underneath where the bridge is gonna be. That will have to be excavated, but,
Yes, there is now.
oh, is there?
Update.
You taking that out? Okay, so,
You know, some of the water in the main pond is now flowing into the.
okay,
Oh,
Really?
very good.
It's about 6 inches, we left about a 6-inch lip right there, but when that pond rises, then it will flow over into the,
Yeah.
for now.
Yeah.
So, I've got a question just about the master plan overall. And one of our esteemed citizens, high school senior, asked me this, and I wasn't sure how best to answer it, but she has a real high interest in, and this is probably unrelated, or I mean, just barely related, but she asked about, when is Newcastle gonna get a nice big library? And, So the reason I ask it in lieu, or in view of this is, does the park board, have they discussed anything, have they had any reason to discuss library?
So if you look at it as a part of the master park plan, it has a recreational center and community center library. So this large building will be multiple stories and will house a library in the future is the plan.
All right. So,
And typically how those work is the city would build the building and then the library usually then of course staff it.
very good. So the city does have a vision for
Correct.
playing a role in that.
Correct.
And
That is just, as of right now, it's in the last phase of the
Right.
master park plan because it is the most expensive element of the master park plan.
And do you know, one last question, do you happen to know whether entities such as Pioneer Libraries, do they invest in that as well? And
Not in the building. I sit on that board and so we have done several libraries and so actually they just do the staff, the books, and then all the technology and things that the library does. The building itself is usually the city.
So the
Now, like in
cities-
Norman, they've done like bond issues and different things like that to build those facilities.
okay. So those cities that do have nice buildings, something happened in those cities that move toward that
Correct,
structure.
correct.
So-
Like the city of Moore right now is exploring that option and they will do a bond as well. They're gonna do, I think, another street bond and then come back for a library bond. But that is the
Okay.
plan, kind of where the station is, there's some more land over there. That is their plan is to have a new library built there.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
What a forward thinking. I'm impressed.
Very much so, and really, you know, it's gonna take individuals like her and others who will, if she wants to promote it faster, move it faster, then she needs to help, maybe, you know, we need help getting the funding to do that.
Correct,
We do have it on our plan, we have space for it,
correct.
but the finances will come
At some
in
point.
time.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
What's the timeline for this piece of the project?
Well,
Sorry.
if we remember with the, like the ball field grant, that was extended due to COVID
Right.
and then things not being reviewed. I would even hate to estimate, you know, used to it was fairly quickly of a process. Now, I really don't know.
So I guess my question, we're at the mercy of the grant.
It's not even at the state level, it's the federal level.
Okay.
That really,
Unless we have other dollars that come in, and we'll move it. Things can happen.
well, we can't do anything with it until they give us the motion to proceed on this. We can't do anything or it would be completely out of pocket.
Yeah.
So we have to
Well,
wait
probably-
to get the final,
Yeah,
You want to make a hefty
I was
donation?
talking about something.
for something else? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, something, yeah, if we decided to do a bond to build that other building, we could absolutely do that.
Or if a donor came forward.
Or if-
We
Absolutely.
would have cut, we would.
We could, I'm sure, figure it out. Kevin's
Yeah.
really good at being
Real fast.
resourceful and we'll figure out how to pay the electric bill and all the other things.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
the facility of that size.
So,
That's why I said, are you about to do a hefty donation or something we need to know?
Gene Reed Library, is that what we're looking at?
Okay.
But it's all very exciting. Like I said, we'll continue to work, looking for additional grants. And one thing is, once you've been awarded a grant like the LWCF grant, we won't be able to apply for another grant in this park until that grant is completed. So that's why we have one LWCF grant at the ball field, and then one will be here. They're not at on the same land, so we can do that.
Okay.
Any other questions for Jeanette?
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Any public comment on this agenda item? All right, I will entertain a motion.
Motion to approve agenda item 10.
Second.
Motion second for approval of item number 10.
Kimberly Sutton.
Yes.
Jean Reed.
Yeah.
Marcy White.
Yes.
Earl Nett.
Yes. Item number 11, discussion of possible action approving an amendment to all UPOR permits previously issued for the Warhawk Nighthawk oil and gas pad sites to remove the requirement of a site wall along the lease road extended by Derek Nelson, 3538 Northwest 24th Street, owner of the affected property.
So EOG, Jason Boyd told me last week that during the little windstorm that came through, and apparently it hit the north half of Newcastle a lot harder than it did south. We didn't get much of anything at my place. But anyway, he called me the next morning after that storm went through. He said, Kevin, we got a problem. He sent me a picture of that wall, which I distributed to council members. And it, I mean, it absolutely destroyed that wall all the way down that side of the property, which would be the east side of that site. Now, the way he had explained it to me, they would like to take most of that wall down. They will still leave some up there directly by the residence, but the rest of it going southbound would be taken down. Is that your understanding, Tom?
Jim, or Mr. Self, I'll defer to what Jason told you. I thought it was the whole wall, but if he told you that, as you know, Jason does what he says, so,
That's what he told me.
okay, then I count on that.
But I mean, if they did get the release from the property owner there, they had no issues with the wall coming down.
Is there any benefit of keeping part of it up?
Not really. I mean, at this point, I don't believe so. I mean, that's,
If I could suggest, just, I would say, amend the permit so it can all come down. If Jason and the landowner work out something where they want part of it left, then that's between them.
You state your name and address for the record, please.
Todd Woolery, Newcastle, Oklahoma.
Speaking of my opinion.
I feel like I live here.
I know.
No, I'm just a guy from Piedmont, so,
We won't hold that against
I
you.
know.
A bunch of them out, dove hunting them this weekend.
Did you find any birds?
Very few.
The panhandle, it was pretty thin.
It was very fun. It was,
You and I can talk about it.
All right.
Fly away, birds.
yeah, if you guys, well, I don't know whether you remember way back when, but, the wall was constructed in response to a complaint from the neighbor just to the east of the drive going back into this well site. And so, to help mitigate the noise, EOG agreed to build the wall to serve as a sound wall, site wall. But now that neighbor has sold the property, and there's a different owner of that home. And from what I understand, that owner has signed a release stating he doesn't desire to have the wall there any longer.
Yes, sir.
Is it in production right now? I mean, like, it's just, they're past all the drilling and all that. I don't know what.
Yes. I don't know if there are any future plans for it. I think there's a bunch of wells there. We've been here lots of times on the Nighthawk. work.
Right.
I would say there's no imminent plans to do anything.
Okay.
That I'm aware.
Any other questions for the board? Any public comment concerning this agenda item? All right. Like I said, the wall was erected in response to complaints and for the agreement of the neighbor who's no longer there. Current owner of that property has no issue with walking it down.
You ready?
I'm ready.
I'll make a motion to approve agenda item 11. I second it.
Motion second for approval of item number 11.
Kimberly Sutton,
Yes.
Gene Reed,
Yes.
Marcy White.
Yes.
Ron Allen.
Yes. Item number 12, discussion of possible action to declare existence of a nuisance on property located at 3991 North Meridian for tall grass, weeds, trash, and refuse serving through.
this property is what used to be the Marconi property up on Meridian. Right now, the front half of that is actually leased, I guess, by a business owner for a tractor business, whatever it may be up there. But the back half of that property, apparently behind the building, is overgrown. We've had several complaints on it. This has been going on now for at least 2-3 weeks, maybe more. Letter has been sent to the property owner. They do have some time, of course, to come into compliance, but we wanted to go ahead and bring this before council to have this and get in front of it to declare it as a nuisance. Should they not comply and get this mowed, then staff will be able to move forward with either fines or having this abated, mowed ourselves, the city take care of it, and then charge the property owner. But as you can see, it's pretty tall, and right now,
Where is
that's,
this at exactly?
Up on 34th Street.
yeah, it's,
And,
the address is off Meridian,
Yeah.
or it's addressed off the radio, but
And
Okay.
this may have been going for a few weeks, but some of those properties up there for years have been a real problem to the rest of our neighbors. So I do hope we can move quickly on abating it.
And not a quick process, but
Right.
we'll never get there if we don't get started. We started this, like Kevin said, they were notified a good while ago. And, there was some confusion on potential agreements to maintain that property. But that was all the owners responsible. And so,
Still not oriented where it's at. Sorry, point out to me what the
the
structures
far right, that is the, tractor dealership, what's the name of that?
Extreme
Extreme Outdoors.
Okay. are. Okay,
I
So it's
44
behind
just
them?
off to the right, yeah.
okay.
Yeah, and even that dealership told me they've been mowing parts of it to try to keep it down, even beyond what they're renting, but they can't get back there. So,
Okay.
yeah. I'll make a motion do we need to discuss any further?
Is there any public comment concerning this agenda item? All right,
I'll make a motion to approve item 12 to declare the property as a nuisance.
Second.
motion second for approval of item number 12.
Kimberly Sutton,
Yes.
Jean Reed,
Yes.
Marcy White.
Yes.
Carl Nell.
Yes. Item number 13, city manager's comments.
I don't have it at this point.
Item number 14, council member comments.
Question. Walker Drive extension. I was told to ask you that.
Still being engineered.
Still being engineered, okay?
Yes.
That's gonna be expensive.
Very
Yeah.
expensive.
Oh, yeah, isn't there a bridge in there or something?
3.
Three?
Oh,
Oh, I really want that road, but that's.
We're looking at $1 million where the bridge is close to it.
Yes.
Ooh,
Well, about
we
a
need
million and a half.
We
We've allowed 500,000 for each bridge.
Ooh. Boy, we need that road.
We do. All right, we'll take a short break after this, but item number 15, executive session, item 15A. Discussion of possible action on entering into the executive session as permitted under 25 OS, section 307D4. Discussing confidential communications between a public body and its attorney concerning a pending investigation, claim, or action. The public body, with the advice of its attorney, determines that disclosure will seriously impair the ability of the public body to process the claim or to conduct a pending investigation, litigation, or proceedings in the public interest. Ryan McCorney and Ryan Biddle versus City of Newcastle, case number CV-23-164, McLean County District Court.
Motion to go into executive session.
Second.
Motion second, to enter into an executive session.
Kimberly Sutton,
Yes.
Jean Reed,
Yes.
Marcy White.
Yes.
Carl Nell.
Yes. I may note we'll have our city manager, assistant city manager, and our city attorney present.
I thought you were going.
I was getting ready to grab these and go.
All right, we will take a short break.